Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Kanaka Jaladagatro Nila Sunabda Netro Mrigumala Malati Malo Malati Kunda Malo Taurla Taruna Besho Nila Pitambaresho Smarana Pritina Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Bhajami Radham Maravindanetram Smarami Radham Marudasmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Badaram Tato Manoyasti Katina Kapi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Om Vishnu Padre Dandi Swami Sri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, our Shiksha Gurus Sri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Nitya Lila Shri Gaura Govinda Goswami Maharaj. All devotees, thank you for coming. Okay, so today is what day? Which Ekadashi? Kamika Ekadashi. Okay. So, everyone here does Ekadashi every week, every fortnight? Doing? Okay. Huh? Stick it on the schedule. Don't miss Ekadashi. For every sin known to man, and probably a few others, if you do that sin, there's a method of purification given in Manu Samhita and other Dharma Shastras. No? But the sin of missing Ekadashi, no purification for that. So serious, so grievous. So, okay, Tamsen, promise. Whole life I never miss this day. Gurudev said, who does not follow Ekadashi? Okay, what are you guys looking at your phones for? Yasoda? Yasoda, still alive there? Base to Yasoda? Very well. Don't miss Ekadashi, no? Guru Maharaj would say, who miss Ekadashi, we cannot call them devotee. They're not included as Vaishnavas. No? So it's also one of the 64 limbs of devotion, Ekadashi Brat. Where's Chandra gone? Huh? She should little pretend to have interest. Guru Maharaj would say, even if you have no taste, just sit. Just give auspiciousness. Even we don't like to sit, if you hear, taste will come by hearing. So, what can we say in all yugas? Ekadashi is there. In Satyuga, Ambarish Maharaj, right? Famous king. Even though he was king of the whole Bharatvarsh, still on the day before Ekadashi he would leave his kingdom, travel to Vrindavan. And in the forest of Madhuvan he would do Nirjal Ekadashi. Harikant's doing, right? Not eating? Sleeping at night? Yes. Criminal. Real Nirjal means no sleeping at night. All night staying awake and doing bhajan. Like Tamal, right? Maybe we come here in summer, we can do. We've done a few times. In Russia, you go to the forest, many devotees, make some big illegal fire, and all night chant Harinam. Because outside and many devotees, it's quite easy. Very nicely that night passes. So all day, without eating, without drinking, and nighttime without sleeping, he would chant Harinam. So, Ekadashi, Guru Maharaj would say, eating 10 kilos of French fries and 5 kilos of mango lassi, this is also not Ekadashi. So the Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayod. Ambarish, with his mind, he would remember Krishna. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvano, with his vachas, with his speech, the organ of speech, he would chant Vaikunta Katha. Kara Harir Mandira Majanadiso, with his kara, with his hand, he would clean the temple. He was king, he could have ordered any chamcha, hey, clean, but no. With his own hand he would clean the temple. In this way, all the limbs of his body he would engage in Krishna's service. This is real Ekadashi. Okay? Ekadashi falls on the 11th day after the full moon. Right? Full moon was how many days ago, Vanamali? 11. Hadn't become a devotee, he would have kept doing rocket science. Ek in Hindi, Ek and Das means what's 1 and 10? What's 1 plus 10? 11. Ekadashi. 1 and 10 is 11. Okay, pay attention, Vanamali's wife. 11 days after full moon, that day is called Ekadashi. 11 days after dark moon, that is called also Ekadashi. So 2 times a month, Tansin, okay? 2 days. That is Ekadashi, you know. Guru Maharaj said even there's so many material benefits from following Ekadashi. Most people die in the hospitals when? When Vanamali used to work on that day. Full moon and new moon. Full moon and new moon. That's when most deaths occur in the hospital. What's your job again? You told?
Clinical researcher.
Right. So have you researched that? That when are the maximum amount of deaths in the hospital? Just take my word for it. That is full moon and new moon. Why? Because this body is 90% water, is it?
70%.
There you go, 90%. 70% water. So the full moon, of course, all the king tides happen in the full moon and the dark moon. Because according to modern theory, the moon pulls the water. So this body has so much water in it. So that's why most people die on this time. And most people go crazy on... Tamal, when's your bad days? Full moon and the dark moon. So much... One policeman in England, he was telling me, so much crime, so much murder, thievery, debauchery, drunkenness, all on these days. No? Because mind controls, the moon controls the mind also. So who fasts on Ekadashi, on this day, we don't eat grains, we don't eat beans. No? So all the excess water, these are like sponges. So all the excess water of the body goes, who fasts. No? Therefore that person never suffers serious diseases. No? Of course everyone have to die, no one escapes that. But generally speaking, who does Ekadashi always has good health and don't go crazy. No? So these are material benefits. No? Also Gurudev said this body is like a machine. If you run the machine 24 hours, it's not good for health. So some little rest is also beneficial for the health. No? Ekadashi really means all 11 senses are used for the service of Krishna. Right? The 5 Gyanindriya by which we gather knowledge, seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing and touch. And the 5 Karamindriya, by these senses we perform actions, speech, hands, legs, genital and rectum. And the mind. These are 11 senses. No? So devotee on this day, all 11 senses, they use for the service of Krishna. No? That is real Ekadashi. So in Satyuga, Ambarish Maharaj was doing. So on the next day, Dwadashi, there's a special period. In that period one should break the fast. Anyway, it depends. So, within general rule is 1.5 hours after sunrise, but it's always fixing. Astrologic, you can hear an explanation, no? Because the sun and the moon, there's always some time difference. God, we're talking about it so much in Cairns and I forgot everything. Anyway, but there's some astrological reason why we should break the fast in a special time. If we do not break the fast in that time, what happens, Gita? You lose the result of your Ekadashi. So I always have to be careful what time I break my fast. So the king, he invited all Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, he fed them, old guests, he fed them, old persons, beggars, he fed them. The king distributed foodstuffs to everyone. The next day he should eat some rice or some bread. He was just about to eat when?
The last one again.
Durvas Rishi. Incarnation of Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer. So he came. Then the king, very respectfully, Maharaj, please take pardon. Because before, even yogis, worshippers of Ganesh, worshippers of Shankar, worshippers of the fire god, it says Surya, all Zoroastrians, everyone would have to follow Ekadashi. So even yogis would follow. Even karmis follow. They consider the limb of karma, karma kand. So Durvasa said, how can I eat without doing my Gayatri, without taking bath? So in the Yamuna he was doing his Gayatri for a long time. The king came in anxiety. How can I eat before my guest? I cannot do that. But if I do not eat something, I will not get the result of my Ekadashi, my devotion will be lost. So sometimes we see in life of devotee there's some conflict between the ordinary rules, sadharan vidi, ordinary rules, like wife should obey husband. Gita's not married yet, right? Do you want to marry? No. The general rule, what parents say you have to do, you listen to your parents? Nothing, right? General rule. What parents say you must do, what husband says you must do, what society says you must do. General rules. But Vaishnavas also have rules, but that is Vishesh Vidhi. Some higher conception is there. So hopefully if we are expert there will be no conflict. But sometime unavoidably conflict comes between the rules of the ordinary persons and the rules of the Vaishnavas. That time what should you do? That time to give up ordinary rules and regulations, to follow a higher principle, there is no fault in that. No? Like for example, imagine someone was pregnant. In the class, they begin to give birth in the class. So we stick them in the car. Speed limit 60. But to go to the hospital, you have to go 150. Would that be considered a fault? Not fault. Because some emergency, some higher conception is there. So generally, Vaishnavas follow all the ordinary rules of society also. Like we see Lord Chaitanya also performed Shraddha ceremony from his father. He also accepted Upanaya and all these things. But if some clash comes between following devotion and following the ordinary rules, it's not considered a mistake to give up the ordinary rules to follow Bhakti Devi. So king thought, if I disrespect my guest, that is only a sin, but is not aparad. But if I do not break my Ekadashi in the correct time, I will lose my devotion. So he requested the Vaishnavas, what should I do? They said, Maharaj, you take some water which has washed the feet of Krishna, Charnamrita. So 3 drops he took. Then Durvasa Rishi is omniscient. He knows everything. So in an angry mood he came, rascal king, you have disrespected me by eating before me. I will take your life. So from his head he plucked a dreadlock. He created one huge demon that is called Kiti Raksha. Some Rakshasi, Kiti Rakshas. Fire demon. He ordered, burn the king to death. Ambarish Maharaj was not afraid. What Krishna wants, that will always happen. So in a completely fearless condition, he remembered Krishna. Even he was not praying, Krishna, save my bacon. He was not praying. He was so high. But Krishna, even though Bhagavan, the devotee, is neglectful of their own maintenance, their own protection, but Krishna never neglects the devotee. So Krishna sent his Sudarshan Chakra. You know what Sudarshan Chakra, Tom Singh? Krishna's personal weapon. Right, the wheel of fortune. If you're killed by it, you get liberation. So it's the wheel of good fortune. That is Nrsingadev, actually. Sudarshan Chakra means Nrsingadev, Gurudev would say. Therefore, Vaishnavas, when we install temple, we always install chakra on the top. That is Nrsingadev, the protector of the Vaishnavas. So the Sudarshan Chakra burnt the demon to ashes. Then it began to pursue Durvasa Rishi, who hitched up his copings and began running. No matter where he fled in the universe, in the rear vision mirror he could see the Sudarshan Chakra. He went to the bottom of the universe, he went to the corners of the universe. Everywhere he ran, he could not escape. Finally he went to the planet of Lord Brahma. Hey bro, help me, save me. No, first he went to the abode of Lord Shiva. Shiva said, Pranam, I cannot do anything. This is the personal weapon of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, what are you doing there on your phone? Ah, okay. Anyway, try and hear, because hearing is more important. So, Lord Shiva said, I cannot do anything. This is beyond my pay grade, beyond my jurisdiction. This is the personal weapon of the Supreme Lord, who destroys the creation just by moving his eyebrows. Who can oppose him? I cannot help you. He went to Brahma, Pahimam, Rakshamam, save me, save me. Lord Brahma said, I cannot help you. I cannot do anything. Who will help me? Oh, the Supreme Lord will help me. So where did he run, Haripriya? Haripriya, where did he go? He ran to Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu actually. Save me, because Vishnu is the protector. Save me, Prabhu, save me. You are the shelter of everyone, therefore you are known as Narayan, the shelter of all. Please save me. And what did Bhagavan say? Can't help you. Aham bhakta paradino hi aswatantri vadvija sadabhe graste hridayo bhakter bhakta janapriya sadunam hridayam mayam sadunam hridayam tvayam mat anyat te manajapi naham tenya jananapi. Oh, Duvas, I cannot help you because I am not independent. What is that? If anyone in the world is independent, who's independent, Tamsen? Bhagavan. Right? We need permission from everyone and everything to do anything. Right? Karma, anyway, that's another topic, but so many factors of action are there. If you have the karma, unless you have the karma, you cannot perform any action. Right? I want to win the gold medal for a 100-meter sprint, but no karma is there to do. Prakriti, material nature, you need permission of material nature. No? If you have one leg, you cannot win the gold medal. No, unless it's Special Olympics. So, Prakriti, karma, so many factors are there. Performing, time factor. So many factors are there in action. But Krishna, what he needs, who he depends on, nothing. What he wants, that happens. No? Everything performed. He is aptakam. Aptakam means no unfulfilled desires. What he wants, that happens. But Krishna said, I am not independent. I am controlled by my devotee. No, I am not independent. Bhakter bhakta janapriya. Even the devotee of such a devotee is very dear to me. No, that is the secret of spiritual life. Not what you know, but who you know. Bhagavan will ask you, who are you? I am fallen disciple of Vishnupad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami. Actually, cannot say fallen because how a servant of the Guru can be fallen. But even a devotee of such a devotee is very dear to me. Therefore, we should not endeavor so much to become the servant of Krishna. We should try to become the servant of Krishna. Then our position will be more secure. Krishna says, Ye te mad bhakta tatejana na tamad bhakta tatejana mad bhakta na tasye mad bhakta se to mad bhakta mataha. Krishna says, one who calls himself my devotee is not my devotee. But one who calls himself a devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. Then Krishna said, Sadhunam hridayam mayam. I always think of the sadhu in the core of my heart. And the sadhu always remembers me. I do not know anything else except my devotee, and devotee doesn't know anything else except me. So Durvasa heard this. What? Ambarish Maharaj has this much potency to control the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Alas, I thought him to be an ordinary materialist, because generally king means money, women. Prince Andrew, what doing day and night? Right? All these fellows, what they're doing. King means generally money and women. I made a great offense. I could not understand his position as an exalted devotee. Right? So he went back and begged forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. I could not understand. So the question comes, why the Sudarshan Chakra could not kill Durvasa Rishi? Because Ambarish Maharaj was praying, I will break my fast. Thank God. Excuse me. Close your eyes, Harikanta. If we cannot do full fast, at least till midday we should do. It'll respect the gold medal. At least know where the podium is. So we always try to do half-day fast. Doing Champakalada? Had breakfast already? Good. So, he came back to the earth planet and fell at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj, who was praying, Oh Bhagavan, if I have any good fortune, any security from serving Guru, chanting Harinam, Ekadashi, this result I give to Durvasa, my guest, that he may not be killed. So Bhagavan wanted to kill him, but the devotee wanted to save him. So Durvasa was saved. Then Durvasa saw this. What is this? I was trying to kill him, but still he prayed for my benefit. Ho Ananta Dasaya. Just see the unlimited glories of the servants of Bhagavan. Avanam avasham avashishyati. Nothing is unavailable for them. Nothing cannot be achieved by them. To have this type of love for Krishna. Okay, Tamsen, you know Satya Yuga? You heard of it?
You mean like one with the last and one with the cycle?
Right, this is the first one where everyone lived millions of years. Well, not millions, but close enough. So even in the beginning of creation, this today was respected. Right? Don't think this is a modern thing. Right? So Satya Yuga, Ekadashi was there. Treta Yuga, Ekadashi was there. No. What is the proof? No. Huh? And did Ram do Ekadashi? 100%. No doubt about it. No doubt. There's a story in Ramayana. Ram was the ideal king. There was no corruption, no pollution, no untimely death, no breaking of rules of Varnashram. So strict. People had that purity in that time. Now, Kali Yuga, no one can do anything. So, well, they can, but they don't try very hard. So, Ram, every day there was a free hour for the citizens. Anyone had any complaints? You can come and tell. But everything was perfect. No one complained anything. One day, one dog came. He had some bleeding on his head. Dog said, I have a complaint. Krishna, one of the 64 arts, when he went to the Gurukul of Sandipani Rishi, one of the arts he learned was communicating with all the animals and birds, all languages he learned. So Ram also knew the language of the dogs. Jamal, give us an example. G'day, bro. Sorry, better be. I've only got one day in New Zealand. I've got nothing to lose. So, dog complained. Yes, sir, I have a complaint. What happened? Early morning I was there sleeping. One Brahmin came, shouted at me, and then he beat me on the head with a stick. Hence, Exhibit A, Your Honor. I have come to complain against the Brahmin. So, Lord Ram called the Brahmin. Well, because accusation is there, then have a right to reply. So Brahmin said, yes, Prabhu, what can I admit to the crime? Why? Because yesterday was Ekadashi. So I was very hungry. So I came out in the morning to do some bhiksha for eating some dwadashi. And especially hunger is very difficult to control, Baba. Hunger, when you're hungry, you kill your own grandmother for something to eat, right? Hunger, thirst, who can control? No. So the Brahmin said, I came and the dog was there blocking the way. I said, hut, hut, get up, move. The dog not moved. I was so hungry. My mind and senses were disturbed. Right? I became angry. So I gave the dog a beating. I admit the crime. So, punishment is given to Brahmanas, but not corporal punishment. Not by the body, no beating like this. So, some discussion was there, what should any punishment be given to the Brahmanas? So Ram not involved, because this only the Brahmanas can decide what punishment should be for the Brahmanas. No? Actual general rule, the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas were not punished by the king, but there's some special case. No? So the dog said, I would like to suggest the punishment. Suggestion may be given. There was a huge Durga temple in town, the biggest one. So dog said the punishment is he should be made temple president. Where's Ramanuja? The dog should be made, this Brahmin should be made temple president of this big temple. The Brahmin became very happy. This is great. Great idea. So Ram said, okay, the punishment is Brahmin, you are now temple president of this huge temple. So the Brahmin went away very happy. He thought this is like an upgrade, a promotion. But Ram, who knows everything else, dog, without any reason, he could not have said like that, please tell why you suggested such a punishment. And dog said, I know, because last life I was that president. I know. And I was very sense-controlled. I was very careful, very polite. But I made some offense. I'm not saying Ramanuja made offense. But generally, Pujari, servant of the Guru, so much money coming in, right? So, one for Krishna, one for me. One for Krishna, two for me. None for Krishna, all for me. So that generally, Pujari, who have this Guru, the Sevak of the Guru, so much facility is there for stealing wealth because so much is coming in. One day we're in China, in Hong Kong. Then some Chinese giving donation, then Guru Maharaj gave me the bag, counted. How much? I said, Guru, this is not fair. You collect more in one day than I collect in 1 year. Guru was laughing. So, the dog said, I was very careful, very respectful. I was always controlling my senses, but some mistake, I became a dog. And this fellow, very violent, very angry, very lusty, then imagine what punishment he will get. So anyway, this is proof from Ramayana. Also in Treta Yuga, everyone also follow Ekadashi. So of course in Krishna's time, Dwapara Yuga, Ekadashi was also there. Many Brijabasi, they say, oh, hey, Krishna not follow Ekadashi, so we also not follow Ekadashi. This is bogus number one. Because Bhagavatam described Krishna also doing Ekadashi. No? There was one, anyway, many people have such deviant thoughts. No? Like there's one we were talking about the other day, one Rup Kaviraj. He was disciple of Hemlata Thakurani. And he also made the philosophy, well, if we want to be Brijbasi, we should not just follow by internally, we should also follow externally. Sound good? Tomorrow? Not good. Rupa Goswami said what? Seva sadaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tad bhavita lipsata kaja braja lokanusarata. We should follow the residents of Braj. So what is the meaning? Rup Kaviraj said the residents of Braj mean Lalita, Vishaka, these devotees. But no, we also consider Rup and Sanatan, Raghunath, the Guru Varga, these also Braj Anusarata. No? So we follow also in Sadak Rup, like practitioner devotee. Right? So we serve also by Shravan Kit, following all the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, by the Sadak form, right? Like taking shelter of the 64 limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, beginning with taking shelter of Guru, taking mantra from Guru, serving Guru there with love and affection, pariprashna, some inquiry, these all limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti. So we also follow like that, like Sadak, and also like Siddha, if inside we have realized our eternal spiritual form and service. Internally we serve following the Brijabasis like Rupa Manjari, if one is in Madhurya Ras, or if one's in Sakyaras like Sridham or Subal. In Vatsalya, if you have that greed, he will follow the service mood of Nandi Yasoda. So this is internally and externally like a practitioner devotee. So, what was the point of all this? What was I talking about? So some people say, well, Krishna and his devotees not follow in that time, so we also not need to follow. Rup Kaviraj, that's right. So because he neglected Vaidhi Bhakti and presented an unregulated method of Raganuga Bhakti, he was rejected from Gaudiya Sampradaya. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he had a disciple also, his name was, I forget his name, but everyone called him Haribams, the flute of Krishna. Anyway, he wasn't much of a flute, that's for sure. Huh? No, another one. So, he would also eat grains and especially betel nut on Ekadashi. Then Gopal Bhatta Goswami said, no, don't do like this, because we have to follow the rules. What scripture says that we follow in this world, we have to follow that. But he said, no, this is Radharani's prasad, there is no restrictions, no rules and regulations, so he would eat. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami rejected him, and but still he had his followers. This became Hit Haribam Sampradaya. You know Seva Kunj, all these guys? That is them. So this is 500 years ago, but still going on. They not follow Ekadashi, not follow any rules or regulations, nothing.
Even Jagannath they don't follow.
That is not true. Go to the Vaishnavas follow. Who told you that?
In Jagannath it was Ekadashi and the temple pujaris were letting us know that it's Ekadashi, but we don't follow it.
And that is their fault. Mahaprabhu himself would follow when he was living in Puri. Well, anyway. So, who are we following? Those fellows or following Mahaprabhu? So, anyway, you skip to Kali Yuga. So Krishna and his Brijabasi also follow Ekadashi. Also they would follow. What's the proof? It was the day of Ekadashi, all Brijabasis were in the forest. Then Nanda Baba, because at that time there was no watches, so he took a bath a little early. Then he was captured by the servants of Varun, who took him to, you know Varun, god of the water? So they took Krishna's father there, because he bathed in the wrong time. Then all the Brijabasi began, you know Brijabasi, understand? Brijabasi began crying. What happened? Nanda Baba drowned, Nanda Baba dead, Nanda Baba taken, like this. Then Krishna said, don't worry. So Krishna jumped in the river, the Yamuna, and where he went, the planet of Varuna. So when Varuna, the god of the ocean, the god of water, saw Krishna came, then, my God, he said to his servants, you idiots, what are you doing? This is Krishna's father. We have no jurisdiction on him. He does what he likes. He's Krishna's eternally liberated soul. We have no power on him. Why you brought him? Then with so much respect, he welcomed Krishna because he's afraid. No, I did big mistake. Well, my servants did mistake, but that responsibility to go to the government. No? So with so much respect, he gave Krishna's like arti, what's it called when they, padyam, what's agyam, many presentations. We are very sorry. Please forgive us. This is proof this day was it why Brijabasis in the Ekadashi fasting all night? This was Ekadashi.
I remember it.
Right. Krishna book. There we go. So this is proof. Brijabasi also do Ekadashi. Especially Nanda Baba is a Vaishnav. He always worshipped Vishnu. May Vishnu protect my son. He thinks always. Actually, it says Nanda Baba always remembers Vishnu. May Vishnu protect my foolish son. May Vishnu protect and forgive my naughty son. He always thinks like that. So how Vaishnava will not follow Ekadashi? So Nanda Baba follow Ekadashi. Everyone else have to follow because he is king. Right, yes. So that time when Krishna came back, he brought Nanda Baba back. Then Nanda Baba was explaining the opulence of Varuna's planet. Then Nanda Baba, very simple, he said, thought this was Vaikuntha. So he's telling all the Brijabasi, you know Vaikuntha? That's right. I saw Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Narayan. Then all Brijabasi amazed, you saw Vaikuntha? Yes, yeah. Then all Brijabasi asked Krishna, we also want to see Vaikuntha. We want to see. We want to see two things we heard are very great. Vaikuntha and liberation. We want to see these two places. So Krishna took them to Brahmarad. He said, everyone, that's the same place. Akrura saw his vision of Krishna in that same lake. Now it's disappeared, but that place is still there. So Krishna said, oh Brijavasi, take bath. When they came out, what did they see, Tamal? First they saw liberation. That is considered place of pure happiness. There is no misery, only ecstasy, Brahmananda. If we take all the happiness of the world, multiplied millions of times, it cannot be equal to one drop of that Brahmananda. So all Brijavasi saw that blinding effulgence, but they could not feel any happiness. Why? So much light, they could not see Krishna anymore. So this Brahmananda became like hell for them. They could not see Krishna. So they prayed, get us out of here. That place we cannot see Krishna, that place is hell. So Krishna then took them to Vaikuntha. And there they saw Bhagavan Narayan. He looked like Krishna because he is Krishna and Narayan is the same person. So he looked like Krishna, but we don't know why. We feel fear. We feel hesitation. How can we approach him? He's such a great personality. So they stood there like this. And also they saw this Krishna also. He looks like Krishna, but he's different behavior. Krishna, before he sees us, he run on our laps, he pull our beards, he put his hand in his pocket, he take our laddus. But this Krishna, very serious, very grave. He's not running towards us out of affection. We also cannot run towards him. So if this is Vaikuntha, we don't want to stay here. We want to go back to Braj. We are very happy there. Anyway, so even liberation and Vaikuntha, this never attract those persons who have seen Krishna, who have relation with Krishna. So Haripriya, this proves everything. What does it prove? Because even Dwapara Yuga, it's there. And Kali Yuga, most degraded age. We cannot follow many, many things in Kali Yuga. Therefore Krishna gave all his mercy in Ekadashi. We cannot follow all vrats, but if someone just do Ekadashi nicely, all mercy of Krishna is stocked there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur called it Bhakti Janani, the mother of devotion. Tamsen, want devotion? Do you want love for Krishna? Jeez, that was convincing. Okay. Love for Krishna, service to Krishna is called bhakti. So today is called Bhakti Janani, the mother of devotion. Prahlad, come here, Prahlad! Where's he gone? Oh, volcano of enthusiasm? Don't hide.
It says in that song, Shuddha Bhakti
Bhajan. Madhav Titi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palana Kori.
So Janmashtami and Ekadashi are mothers' days.
Who said Ekadashi? Who said Janmashtami is? This is Madhav Titi Bhakti Janani. Ekadashi is called Madhav Titi. Prahlad, without mother could you exist? Okay, go back then. We just wanted to check. Without mother there's no son, right? Right? So Ekadashi is mother of devotion. So you don't respect the mother, Ekadashi, then can you get Krishna? Can you get love of Krishna? Of course not. What did you have for breakfast? Did you have anything for breakfast? What'd you have? What did he have?
He had like a tiki thing.
A tiki?
Yeah, it's like a Ekadashi one.
Oh, good. Okay. You're doing Prahlad, try whole life, do Ekadashi, right? Just say, definitely Maharaj, I will definitely promise. Try and whole life do Ekadashi, Prahlad, even if you can't do too much bhakti. But try always whole life do Ekadashi. It's not difficult, just right, don't eat rice, don't eat bread. How hard's that? Not very hard at all. Okay, go back, thank you. We're just checking. Without mother, can you exist or not? Not possible. So Ekadashi is called Bhakti Janani, mother of devotion. So we must respect, this is one main limb of devotion. Many people these days not follow. Like Kripalu, you know Kripalu? What do you know about him? He's dead now, but what do you know about him? Nice. Because they don't follow Ekadashi. Radharani followed Ekadashi. Radharani follows Ekadashi. Now there's also, when Nanda Yasoda, they became in old age but no children. Not old, but you know, a bit like Tamal, some salt and pepper in the beard, but no children. So Nanda Baba had 4 other brothers, so they were all also sad. Why Nanda has no children? And because Nanda have no children, he sort of renounced from everything, not too much interest. Because interest for whom? No son, no children, why give too much interest to everything? So, Nanda Baba's father is called Parjanya. So he had 5 sons, and he knew Nanda was the most qualified, but Nanda was the middle son. But because Nanda Maharaj had no son, he not too much interested in anything. So Parjanya prayed to Bhagavan, Shiva, please give my son a son. He was praying like that to Shiva, because Shiva is Asutosh. Shiva easily fulfill all desires. So Nanda Baba and Yasoda would have dreams, especially Yasoda. Nanda Baba would have dream of Krishna. And he would tell this dream to Yasoda. Oh Yasoda, I had a dream you gave birth to such a sweet child. You know, his fingers and toes very soft like the sprouts of tomal tree, very delicate. So he had full head of hair. Normally baby is born quite ugly, right? Prahlad was pretty ugly when he was born, right? All babies. Are all babies born bald? A little bit, right? But Krishna was born with full head of hair. Full head of hair.
Some are born with hair, but it then falls out.
Does it?
Yeah.
Jeez. Is that true?
More hair.
Who here has had babies? Champaklada, how many you had? 1. Was your child born with hair or no hair? Did it fall out? We'll research the Google Guru after this.
It rubs off on the pillows and things where they...
Anyway, I think we've established the fact. Babies generally have no hair. Some freaks may be there, but that hair falls out. So, but this baby, oh Yasoda, this child, full head of hair. So, very sweet, and he would drink the milk from your breast. So much milk would come from your breast, he could not drink. It would go down his chest onto his stomach. So Nanda Baba would describe this. So Mother Yasoda, by hearing the Harikatha of Nanda Baba, then she also began meditating on Krishna. You know, like how Krishna entered the womb of Devaki, because Vasudeva gave mantra. So Bhagavan never appears in the womb just like husband and wife in this world. Never like that. He appears by mantra, or in this case of Krishna, he appeared by Harikatha. So Nanda Baba always having this dream. Therefore, even wake state, he would think of this child, but Krishna had not appeared yet. And Yasoda also, she had not had any baby, but she always meditating on this baby that Nanda Baba is speaking about. Then they began talking how we can produce such a child. Such a child, how will come so qualified? Then someone suggested, Dasarat Maharaj also had no son, and Shringi Rishi performed a big yagya to have Ram appear as the son of Dasarat. You can try a yagya. Then Nanda Yasoda rejected, no, because the child we want is millions of times even more qualified than Ram. More handsome, more noble, more sweet, more everything. So by a normal yagya we cannot get this child. How can we get? Then they heard, oh, by Ekadashi. You can get anything. All desire fulfilled. So for 1 year, Nanda Yasoda did Ekadashi, of course. And all residents of Vrindavan, they also want Nanda to have a son, so they also all began doing Ekadashi. And what they prayed, at the result of our Ekadashi, we give to Nanda Yasoda, they may have a son. So in this way, even before Krishna's appearance, everyone was doing Ekadashi. Nanda Yasoda, all Brijavasi. So Krishna appeared by Ekadashi Bhat. Therefore, many people, everyone respects Janmashtami, the birthday of Krishna, but actually Ekadashi is considered even greater than Janmashtami. Okay, Gurudev would say. Why? Because Ekadashi Krishna appears, but on Janmashtami Krishna appears. But on Ekadashi, Bhakti appears. Which is greater, Bhakti or Krishna? Why? Krishna is controlled by Bhakti. So Bhakti is more than him. Yeah. That's why Ekadashi is even more important than Janmashtami. But Ekadashi is more kind. You only have to fast till midday. But Janmashtami you have to suffer till midnight. So, these all proofs how in Dwapara Yuga also Ekadashi is there. No? So, and even when the perfected souls come to this world, they also behave like sadhaks. Like Radharani also serving Tulsi Devi, Radharani also doing Vaishnav Seva, Sadhu Seva, she also doing. Where are you off to? So, Kali Yuga came, most degraded age. So, before everyone would do Ekadashi. If you would not do Ekadashi, the kings would kill you. Where's Prahlad? The kings would expel you or kill you if you don't do Ekadashi. No? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the beginning of his appearance, he established Ekadashi. From the beginning. No? When he was a baby. One day, normally when the child would Nimai, you know Lord Chaitanya Thompson, right? His childhood name was Nimai. Right, you can remember, a very sweet name, Nimai. When he was a baby, Nimai was a baby, he would cry. When all the ladies started chanting Hare Krishna, he would stop crying and he would dance like that. Well, better than that. So his chanting, his dancing was so sweet. All the ladies wanted to see it constantly. Therefore, in the house of Lord Chaitanya was constant Harinam Sankirtan. Always Haribol, Haribol. And Nimai would dance and smile when they would sing. Because there was constant chanting of the holy name in his house. Lord Chaitanya was given the childhood name Gaura Hari. Why? Because he also as a child always Haribol, Haribol as a child. But one day he was crying so much that no amount of chanting could pacify him. So finally Jagannath Mishra, his father, said, "Son, whatever you want, I'll give me, just stop crying." The child said, "I want the Ekadashi offerings of Jagadish and Hiranya, two brothers." Nityananda would stay in the house when he would live in Navadvip. He would stay in the house of these two brothers. So Jagadish went to these two brothers who were cooking special preparations for Lord Narayan. Because Bhagavan fasts, but we fast on Ekadashi, but Bhagavan doesn't have to fast. So when Jagadish came there, the two brothers so happy, Jagannath Mishra has come, welcome. How can we serve you? When a guest comes to our house, what's the only thing you ask them? How long you're staying for? No. Only one question, Tamal, what should you say to the guest? Well, it depends who the guest is, doesn't it? General rule, how can I serve? That's the only question you can ask a guest. But still, guest is like a piece of fish. After 3 days, he begins to... They say. Vanamali's looking at the calendar every day. So, how can we serve Jagannath Mishra? Respect for how can we please you? Why have you come to our house? There must be some reason. Tell us if it's possible we can fulfill your desire. So Jagannath Mishra felt great shame. He said, "Please forgive me. My son has an impossible request. But he wants to eat the offerings you are cooking for Lord Narayan." Then two brothers were Vaishnavas. They thought, what an extraordinary request. How this child knows that we are cooking special preparations for Bhagavan. So this child must be Narayan himself. So with great happiness, they packed all these things and sent for Jagannath Mishra to give to your child. So from the beginning, Lord Chaitanya is showing, no, who does Ekadashi attracts my mercy. No? So, one day he asked his mother, because it could be at that time, there was a, no, Tamsen, you're not allowed to marry more than once, right? You know that. Like your husband isn't here. But should not marry more than once, one time a day. Tamal, how many you're on? 10? 4, no more. Huh? What did he say? What about, anyway, we won't go too much into it, because today is a holy day. Anyway, so especially lady, one husband should be there. No? So, the custom was there, it's still there now. When the husband dies, then the woman, she becomes like renounced. No more fancy saris and jewelry, and because husband is not there, then who are you dressing up for? No? So, there was a custom, only old ladies whose husbands have died, they should do Ekadashi. So Lord Chaitanya one day asked, Mother, can you give me some benediction? Mother Sachi said, my son, I can give my life millions of times for your happiness. What do you want from me? Promise me that you will follow Ekadashi. Then Mother Sachi promised. So her husband, Jagannath Mishra, was still alive then. So Lord Chaitanya cut this idea that only unmarried women should do Ekadashi. So this was all before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. So he gave these teachings. So of course when he went to Jagannath Puri, he stayed there 18 years in Jagannath Puri. So of course, who does not know Jagannath Prasad? Who has not had Jagannath Prasad? Tamal, you've never been to Jagannath Puri? Harikant, have you been? Champaklada, have you been? Put up your hand then. Sinful wretch. Uttam? Did you tell? Of course, you took Jagannath Prasad, right? Tamsen, come. Come to Vrindavan. Try and come this October. Ready? Just say yes. Oh, no, don't. Try. No, so Jagannath Prasad, so famous, right? Have you been? What's this gentleman's name?
No, I haven't been.
Have you been to India?
No.
What are you doing? Do you have a wife there?
No.
Okay. Why are you not coming to Vrindavan?
The opportunity hasn't presented itself.
Opportunity came plenty of times, but you had other things going on. Huh? You have any money? How much you have? You got $1,000?
Probably.
Okay, there you go. There's your ticket.
One way.
Anyway, that's the spirit. What's again your name? I keep forgetting. Karan, right? Coming? When you coming? Anyway, that's not true. Also, they're given 5 years. You can stay 3 months, go outside for a day, come back. That's.
No, we checked the website, the New Zealand Indian consulate, and they was only assured 2 month visas.
Okay. Anyway, 2 months is better than never, right? Come for Kartik. You got any money?
Yeah.
Got a kidney? Have you seen it on your scan? Don't trust her. She's scanning your kidney for tickets. Prahlad, how many kidneys do you have? Prahlad, how many kidneys do you have? 1, right? You've got 3 kidneys, right? Who told you you don't have 3? Who told you that lie? Anyway, these holy places, so powerful, so special. So Lord Chaitanya stayed in Jagannath Puri. Especially Prasad is always pure, but Mahaprasad from Jagannath is have special glories. No? So, that temple they feed an incredible number of people every day. 100,000 I've heard like that. It could be. No, 54. 54 preparations every day. Stoves, I used to know the numbers now. Prasad used to be my main interest. So, when Lord Chaitanya came to Puri, then everyone began following Ekadashi. Everyone. Because Bhagavan, no? Who will disobey him? So the Pandas, generally very greedy fellows, respectfully we say, of course exceptions are there. So when everyone began following Ekadashi, that's 2 out of 30, what's that? 1 out of 15, that's a 7% drop in business. If you count all the fast days of Bhagavan, we fast for 31 days a year. 7 Jayantis and 24 Ekadashis. That's what's 1 divided by 12, what percentage is that? 8.5%, a bit less. So all Pandits became worried. 10% drop in business, this is not good. Why everyone's now following Ekadashi? Because of this Lord Chaitanya. So on the day of Ekadashi, they brought many, many Jagannath, varieties of Jagannath Prasad. 56 preparations, imagine how many they brought for Lord Chaitanya's pleasure on Ekadashi day. Why? Because it says Mahaprasad is never contaminated. Kukurasya mukad brasta. Even prasad falls from the mouth of a dog. Prasad, a Brahmin will pick it up and eat it. There's a story on Parikram. Saraswati Thakur was doing Navadvip Dham Parikram. And they piled the rice up, huge mountains of rice. So one dog came and grabbed a mouthful. So everyone went to tell Prabhupada, this dog has touched the rice. All is contaminated. What should we do? What should we do? And Prabhupada came there. Where is it? Where did the dog bite? There you see. Where? There. He ate. Prabhupada was so great. So prasad is like that. It's never considered contaminated, even if if it's stale or moldy or something. Someone who has faith, they will take like that. No? So, of course, Lord Chaitanya knows all this. They were putting pressure on Ekadashi. You can also take prasad because prasad is not contaminated. Then Lord Chaitanya said, it's true, the glories of Jagannath Prasad are unlimited. Prahlad, you've got an attention span of a grasshopper. Don't worry. So, what to do? We know the glories of Mahaprasad, even if it comes from a distant place, even you're not clean, you can eat, even no rules and regulations for prasad. In Jagannath Puri, I've heard even Muslims and Brahmanas eat off the same plate. They have that much belief in Jagannath Prasad. But today is Ekadashi, and the Vaishnava Shastras forbid the eating of food grains on Ekadashi. So what to do? We talked about the general rule and the superior rule. General rule is prasad can be taken any time, any place. But on Ekadashi, Ekadashi forbids the eating of food grains on that day. So what Lord Chaitanya did, all the Mahaprasad he put in a big pile in the middle of the room. You know this story, right? What? You're coming for Kartik this year, right? Come on tomorrow. At least I can die and look Lord Chaitanya face. I did one thing. And he goes, yeah, you brought tomorrow to my holy place. Go to hell. So Lord Chaitanya stacked all the prasad in the middle. And all night they did kirtan around the prasad, parikram. Tomorrow would have been in Hari Rama, Hari Rama. All night they did parikram around the Mahaprasad. Then in the morning, Lord Chaitanya did dandavats to the prasad. Then at the proper time, he distributed to all the Vaishnavas and took himself. So even if Mahaprasad is available, devotees, we don't eat it like rice and things like this. No, Anna Prasad they say in India. So why we do not eat food grains on Ekadashi? No? He said, don't jump the gun. In Satyuga, as long as you had bones, you could live. like Hiranyakasipu, right? Just bones were there, but he was still alive. In Treta Yuga, as long as marrow was there, you could survive. Something like that. In Dwapara Yuga, as long as blood was there, as long as meat was there, you could survive on the body. Like Bhishma. Arrows there, all blood was gone, but meat was still there, so he was still alive. And in Kali Yuga, it said giving up food grains is the same as giving up your life. So there's no austerity greater in Kali Yuga than not eating food grains. So, Scripture gives, so also, Ekadashi is called Madhav Titi. Gurudev would say, Ekadashi is not a day, Ekadashi is Krishna, the Titi of Madhav. Gurudev would say, Krishna becomes the day of Ekadashi. So pure. So, sin, papurush. Actually, I used to, on my Facebook, I used to sometimes put his picture up there. I like all these extreme things. Papurush, his eyes are made of I cannot remember. His stomach is made of the sin of abortion. His eyes are the sin of drinking alcohol and stealing off a Brahmin. All his body is made of all these horrible sins. Killing your mother and father, having sex with a wife of a Brahmin or a wife of a Guru. His whole body is made of all these sins. So, he's called Papurush. Sin personified. Mr. Sin. Mr. Sin. Sounds Chinese, doesn't it? Mr. Sin. So Papurush went to Krishna and he complained. Krishna, this day is so pure, I have no place to go. Because this day is you and Ekadashi are non-different. So you have to give me some place on Ekadashi, some shelter. So Krishna said, you can take shelter in food grains. So rice, dokla, lentils, soya, corn, spaghetti, what else? Pani puri, parathas, all grains and things made of grains, even oil made of grains like rice bran oil, what else? Corn oil, canola, God, who even uses that stuff? So it said all sins reside in food grains. So I am a very good person, I am vegetarian, but eating grains on Ekadashi, they are the most sinful persons. There is no one worse than them. That's why, Karan, on Ekadashi, we do not eat any type of food grains, right? No dal, no rice, no lentils, nothing. This is the reason. Okay, are there any questions from anyone? Yes, sir.
The Ekadashi is also mentioned in Mahabharata.
The Nityananda Mahabharata. Did you say Nityananda Mahabharata?
No,
Sorry. Oh, sorry, in the Mahabharata. I was going, that's a new book I've never heard of.
Dronacharya sent
Does it?
Yudhisthira and Duryodhana out to find someone that was lower than them.
Yeah, I know the story. What does that have to do with Ekadashi?
But it was Ekadashi and Yudhisthira came back. Maybe I got it wrong, but he came back and said he found someone that was carrying water or something.
I think you got the story mixed up.
No,
He found a stool.
no, he found someone that he thought was breaking the Ekadashi, but he was giving the food to his animals. The water or the...
No, you got your stories mixed up a little bit.
Was that from another one?
Yudhisthira and Duryodhana was sent to find someone lower than them. So Duryodhana went out all day. I couldn't find anyone lower than me because I'm the best. But Yudhisthira came. He said, I could not find anyone higher than me, but I found a stool, my stool, that's lower than me. Something like that.
I couldn't find anyone. I mean, anyone who's worse than me. The opposite of what I was the most fallen. That's what Yudhishthira said.
And Duryodhana thought what?
I'm the best.
I could not find anyone lower than me. Duryodhan said. Oh, Duryodhan said I could not find anyone better. That makes more sense, doesn't it? I could not find anyone better than me, and you just here found I could not find anyone worse than you. Then Krishna pointed, what about this stool? I remember because I was translating and I got it wrong that time. So then Gurudev was laughing because Gurudev was saying, no, the stool was speaking like this. So Yudhishthira said, I found this stool, he is worse than me. Then the stool began speaking. No. Because the stool said, before I met you, I was very good. I was paratas, I was paneer sabji, I was pakoras. But by your association, I became some stories. But anyway, if there's a story in Mahabharata, you should look it up properly. I would like to hear it also.
I think the man was carrying water to his animals, and there was something he was doing work.
Right.
There was something that
The Vaishnav day of rest. Okay. Oh, Krishna Dharma is only very condensed, but the real Mahabharata is huge thing. Huge thing. Okay, so yes, sir.
Natara Shiva is when he's standing on the dance floor. He's got a form underneath him. Some say it's a Papa Purush.
Oh,
Papa Purush, he's standing. He's a still leader at the time. And then he dances and he's got a form under his foot, which is like a little creature.
yes, I've seen the little creature. I never heard who he was. TK, so Ekadashi very important. Try to make it regular practice. TK. Go Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ramo, Hare Ramo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.